Tiara here with Fae Creations. Thanks so much for tuning in to another soap making adventure. Today's soap is inspired by Farmer's Market. I am kicking off the May collection with this garden inspired, well really tomato inspired soap, because our farmers markets start at the end of April, and I think they usually go to October, sometimes December, which I think is really weird because it gets really cold out. But I'm really excited for the farmers markets to start up because they're outdoors, and I just love getting the fresh produce and the pretty flowers and just being outside and seeing all the different vendors. Got food trucks. I mean, farmers markets are so fun, and you can always count on them every single weekend. So this one is mainly based around tomato, and the biggest inspiration came from a brambleberry tutorial they did, I think it was like a year ago. I think I'm gonna put a little more tomato powder in there. A year ago they did a orange grove, and I took that and turned it into a grapefruit and lily soap, and that was again probably a year ago. I'm going back with that design and turning it into a tomato. So I have added some goat milk in here, and I've added my tomato powder in. This is going to be a tomato embed, so we're going to do the round PVC pipes, and we're going to pour them up today, leave them sit overnight, and then I'll come back tomorrow and mold them and put them into the base of the soap. So I'm going to get this all mixed up, the goat milk and the tomato powder, before I add my lye solution. So to make this a bit more interesting, instead of just a red circle, I'm going to add an accent color. And we're going to do two different color reds because I couldn't decide on which one to use, which one would be more realistic. So I am putting in, this is a Red Vibrance by Nurture Soap, into the big guy. And into the little one, I'm going to add some Trial by Fire into there. Not too much. Don't need too much of that. Too much of it and you'll start dyeing washcloths and bathtubs. Should have measured that out, but we only need a little bit. So let me scoop that back out. I'm gonna mix both of those in, not one of those in. Add my fragrance. Start with this one. I'm gonna add in my fragrance, which is called Farmer's Market Vine Ripe Tomato. It is by Crafter's Choice, and the notes in it are juicy ripe tomatoes, lemon zest, basil leaf, and star jasmine. And it smells like that Burt's Bees. A little bit of goat milk still in my container there, reused it. It smells like that Burt's Bees, like tomato. I don't know if they still make it. Do they still make it? I don't know. I just remember it from the 90s or when I worked at Walgreens when I was like 18. It was always like a weird thing to me, but as an adult, I think I like it better. I hate tomatoes. I can't stand tomatoes. If they're cooked and like mashed up and mixed in with things, I'll eat them, but it's so weird because Maryland, they love their tomatoes and I'm just not a fan. I will pick them out. I don't know, don't like them, but I do like the smell of vanilla tomato vines for some reason. The smell of the vine is okay, but I will not eat a tomato. All right, let's get this all mixed up. I'm going to pour it into this big bucket and then pour them into my PVC molds that I have lined with some parchment paper. So back the next day to make the base. Going to go ahead and add my lye solution to my oils. I'm gonna pour this all in, and then I'm gonna let it set up a little bit before I put those embeds in. I don't want them to sink to the bottom. I want them to actually sit on top, kind of poking out a little bit. All right, I need to remember to tell Bradley I need some bigger PVC pipes because these were fitted to my old mold, and I don't remember that until it's too late. So a couple of these end pieces are not going to have any tomato on them, but that's fine. So I have a leaf tip with some of that green vibrance, and I'm just piping some leaves onto here. And then I'm going to change out the leaf tip to a writing tip and do some vines on the sides. And that is going to be the top of the soap. So my mom is over right now hanging out with Sebastian, and it's a beautiful spring day. And I was so torn between, do I want to play in the dirt or do I want to make soap? And I'm like, I'm so far behind in soap. I need to get in there and finish up some things. And I just gave up playing outside for that. But I'm in here and I'm like rushing, trying to get everything done because I really want to go outside and play. But I have to like divvy up my time and prioritize when I have someone to babysit for me. And the other thing is that she loves to go grocery shopping for me. She loves to buy stuff for Bash. And she must think I live in some botanical garden because she went out and bought me every single type of bulb you could possibly think of. And I'm like, great, when am I finding time to do that? And I mean, it's not a little bit of stuff. She bought me a pack of 75, what was it, gladiolus bulbs. She bought me a thing of dahlias, some elephant leaf plants. She bought, oh my god, I can't even remember. She bought me so much stuff. On top of the things that I had already bought myself, I planted over 500 seeds, like sunflowers and zinnias. And I just don't know where she thinks I'm going to find the time to do all this, let alone where am I putting all of this stuff. I mean, weeding the flower beds is going to be hard enough. I don't know how I'm gonna do this, guys. I really don't. I really appreciate her gesture, but it is going to be a challenge. So cross your fingers that I can get all this stuff in the ground. Oh, 2 flats of pansies. 2 flats of pansies. Where am I putting these pansies? I don't know. I don't know. I really need to get going though. Alright, just gonna sit here and put random vines all over the top of this. And that is going to be this Farmer Market tomato soap. I will give it a spray with rubbing alcohol. I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours and I'll come back and we'll cut into it. Let's take a look at the inside. Let's see. Perfect. I like that it's quite simple, but it has just the perfect amount of design in it with the jojoba beads and that little swirl and the vines on top and that perfectly plump, ripe tomato that's bright red right in the middle there. Love it. Oh, it smells so good too. It smells just like the vine of a tomato, I swear. Do you guys like tomatoes? I know there's a lot of people out there who probably don't like tomatoes, just like me. I'm the kind of person that if I forget to tell the waiter or waitress that I do not want tomatoes on it, I don't want it. The juices, they have contaminated whatever food that they're on in the tomato. I just can't stand the taste of tomatoes. I don't know if it's like the metallic like bite to them. I really don't know, or if I'm just not getting the right tomato. I'll eat them in tomato sauce. I'll even do sun-dried tomatoes, but for some reason a fresh tomato, no thank you. Bradley has to remind me every time I order to make sure it doesn't have tomatoes on it, or someone's gonna be a little upset. Again, thank you so much for joining me on the soap making adventure and tuning in. If you haven't done so already, click that like button if you like what you saw. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Come back for more fun in the soap making world of Tierra over here. These last 2 bars, I am going to put one in the wonky listing. This guy will go in the perfectly fine bar, but not exactly turned out how I wanted it to listing. And then this one I will cut up into samples and put them in people's orders. Questions or comments, leave them for me in the comment section down below. And until next time, I hope you guys have a very nice day. And I will smell you later.